Hello, everybody, and welcome back to We the Saints. I am your host, and with me, my lovely wife.
Hey everybody, welcome back.
So today we're going to continue on our Bible studies in Joshua 10. Joshua 10, and we have titled today's message or today's sharing, Full Battle. So when we get to chapter 10, leading off from chapter 9, we see that the Israelites, Joshua had made a covenant with the Gibeons because they came and they basically lied to them. They lied to them and they made a covenant with them. And now the other nations have seen that Gibeon made a covenant with the Israelites, and Gibeon's supposed to be part one of them. Supposed to be one of them. And why we call it full battle? Because now, what king was it? It was the king. It was Adoni-Sedek, the king of Jerusalem. It says here, it had heard what Joshua had taken Ai and had utterly destroyed it, as he had done to Jericho and its kings. Now, we called it full battle because we could see the king of Jerusalem, or the old king Adoni-Sedek, to be, he is the enemy, right? He's the enemy. And who is the enemy in our lives? Who can we consider the enemies in our lives? And what he does is he goes and he routs on 5 more kings and says, hey, let's go and attack Gibeon. And Gibeons, they went to Joshua and they told him, hey, Joshua, we made a treaty. You have to come help us. So why this is important? Because number one, Gibeon was a mistake that the Israelites did. So what about when we make mistakes, right? Should God just be like, see what happens, right? Because it was a mistake they did. And the result of that mistake, now you got 5 more others that are going to gain up on it because of that mistake. So sometimes, and remember the Israelites, they won one, they won another, and that's what they were going to continue to do, one at a time. But now 5 of them have gathered up because of the one mistake they did. And, we could do that type of stuff. Babe, any notes you want to add to that?
Yes. Sometimes in the story in chapter 10, it talks about the 5 kings, how they came, all at once, like my husband said, sometimes, who are the 5 enemies nowadays in our personal lives today? Whether, the enemy would try to attack us multiple times, whether, it's financially, family-wise, health-wise, any problem that you're going through, you're being spiritually attacked. We could be good, one day, and then next thing you know, we're like being at problem after problem after problem. But what do? Do we seek God and get on our knees, or we just get angry with God?
So in one of my notes that I wrote, it says, God will rescue you God will rescue you even out of your mistake that you did, no matter how big it is. Mm-hmm. Or sometimes we want to walk in God's path and we start going to church. Oh, that's one good thing. We start, telling people, God bless you. That's another thing. And then your enemy says, you know what? No, like you're walking with God. So now I'm going to attack you with 5 big problems or as many as problems all at once. So like my wife said, you're going to be discouraged. You're going to lose hope. And then this is where our hope comes from as you keep reading. I think it was verse 11, right? On Joshua 10.
Oh, 12.
12? What does 12 say?
It says, then Joshua spoke to the Lord in the day when the Lord delivered up the Amorites before the children of Israel. And he said in the sight of Israel, sun, stand still over Gibeon, and the moon in the valley of Ajalon. So the sun stood still, and the moon stopped, till the people had revenge upon their enemies.
Amen. That's one that we see, but I think I meant the other one.
Which one?
They're from.
What?
It was 7, I think. 8. It was 8. It was 8. If you could read 8, we'll go back to that one, but 8.
And the Lord said to Joshua, "Do not fear them, for I have delivered them into your hands."
Amen. That was the part. You see, even though they made a mistake, even though we make a mistake, God could still rescue us.
Amen.
And he's already telling them, hey, don't worry about all those 5 things that are going to come at you at once. I have already delivered you from those things. You just need to trust in God. And then the one she read about telling the sun to be still and the moon, you know, God can make big miracles like that in your life. If you need time and you think you're running out of time, God can extend that time. You know, whatever it might be, financial, your workplace, you need a job, no matter what it is, no matter what the enemy wants to come at you with those big 5 things at you, God always makes a way.
Amen.
Anything you want to add to that, babe?
Amen. That the Lord gives us victory. If you guys go to verse 11, you know, it says that the Lord cast down large hailstones from heaven. Now imagine how he's going to, you know, fight the battle for us. Like if he was able to send large hailstones, I don't know if you guys know what those are, but coming from heaven, stones like large stones, I will be running. Now I don't think I'll be running because I'll probably get hit by one, but you know, imagine the power of God. Mm-hmm. Now imagine him working in our personal life, in our lives. God is the same every day, 24/7. He never changes.
Amen. Amen. So that's where we want to leave chapter 10. God delivered Joshua out of 5 kings. You know, they were tired because they have been fighting for a whole day, plus the 12 additional hours or half a day that when the sun stopped moving, and they continue on to next day. So it's maybe 2 days of the Israelites fighting, and yet they were not tired because the Lord gives them strength. And that's what we want to encourage you guys. Whenever if we commit mistakes, which we do, just remember God can use those mistakes. God's not going to forsake you and say, well, you shouldn't have done that the first time. God will deliver you out of those mistakes. God will deliver you. God will rescue you out of anything that you make. Amen. If you put your trust in him.
And one more thing, guys. How to deal with the enemy. Something I learned. We should give it no room. Put our foot on its neck and put it to death.
Amen.
I had to say
it. Somebody had to say it. Yes. So thank you again. Thank you for joining us. Until next time.